Networking. So if you're looking to get your networking game up, I have a few suggestions. We're going to talk about it. I'm going to share with you something. But before I do, I definitely want to invite you and encourage you to check out the latest episode of the Growth Times Infinity podcast. As you know, if you've been looking at the last few videos, I've been sharing with you tips on how to move further and further away from your comfort zone. Now we're at the fourth tip, and that fourth tip has to do with networking, and that's what we're going to discuss. But on the latest episode of the Growth Times Infinity podcast, I started part one of that conversation, of that discussion on networking. And basically what I talked about was our intentions. What are our intentions when we go out and network, when we go out into these places, when we go out to these events? What are our true intentions when we go network? So I talk about that on the podcast, on the episode. So once again, check that out. So now we are at part two of the discussion. So what I want to do at this time is I want to share with you 5 places, 5 spaces, my suggestions, my recommendations when it comes to networking. Where do you go? You may be asking yourself, where should I go if I want to network? If I want to get my networking game strong? Let's talk about it. So I definitely want to start off with number 1. And of course, we're talking about networking. So my first suggestion is going to networking events. Now, as far as networking events, it's very easy to find a networking event. As a matter of fact, I feel, and I've also, based on my observation, there are networking events basically every day, every single day. You just have to find them. So you just go in, connect with people, regardless of what the networking event is about. Usually it deals with business. I know there are specific ones like real estate. There's some like nonprofits, but it really doesn't matter what the networking event is all about. Usually it's free for everyone. It's open to the public unless stated otherwise. So that's the first place, networking events. Number 2, going to conferences. Now, conferences is basically a bigger version of a networking group. You know, conferences, again, is usually dealing around business. You go in and you can connect with people as well. And I love attending conferences because not only are you connecting with people, but you're likely to learn something. You're likely to enhance your personal development depending on what the conference is all about. What is it talking about? That type of thing. So you're bound to get a lesson. You're bound to get value when you attend these conferences. That was number 2, attending a conference. Number three, joining a social group. Now, we talked about networking groups. We talked about networking events. We talked about conferences. Now, social groups are usually more personal, more intimate, because there are some social groups, many of them, as a matter of fact, that require you to invest in a membership. So that's what a lot of social groups are all about. But basically, it's worth it. If you have to purchase a membership to get into that group, it's worth it. Again, you're going in, you're connecting with people, and with a lot of these social groups, they'll have gatherings. They might go to happy hour. They might hold Zoom webinars. They might hold events where you go in and there's a specific topic that is discussed. They may be doing like a classroom type setting where they're teaching specific skills. So a social group is definitely a great way to network, a great way to connect with people. So that's number 3, joining a social group. Number four has to do with sports. Whether you join a sports league, and I'll also throw in there joining a gym. Now, I know with joining a gym, it can be hard because there are many people in there, they're so focused on working out. And with that, a lot of times, they may not want to converse with people. They just want to go in there, get their fitness on, and get up out of there. But you can also connect with people in the gym as well. You can maybe you can get with somebody either before their workout or after, just connect with them briefly or however long it takes. And then as you connect more with that person or maybe like a small group of people, you can hold each other accountable for your workouts. That's one way to network. That's one way to connect with people. Also, I mentioned the sports league. Sports leagues are amazing. And what I learned about sport and what I love about sports leagues is that for many of us, we played sports when we was younger. Whether it was little league, whether it was pee-wee, whether it was middle school, high school, college, we played sports. So as we get older, a lot of times we don't have time to play sports. Maybe we have time to go to the gym for a little bit. Maybe we have time to do a workout at home. But a lot of times I feel like many of us don't think about actually joining a sports league. And there are so many amazing sports leagues out there. There's flag football, there's softball, there's volleyball, etc., etc., etc. I mean, there are so many sports out there that we can be active in. And also, again, you're connecting with people. You're connecting with like-minded people who are out there. Of course, we're getting in shape. Our health is our wealth. We're showing our competitive side. And that's another thing. I feel like joining these sports leagues, and as you are competing with others and with others, you're showing the true you. You may be quiet, you may be reserved, or whatever the case may be. But when you get out there on that court, when you get out there on that field, it gets real. And people see that. And you know what? People love that. Another great way to connect with people, showing your real self, going out there, getting active. So that's number 4. The fourth place, the fourth space where you can go out and network is sports league or a gym. Last but not least, number 5. And those are the faith-based spaces. And I'm talking about churches, joining your local church. If it's not the church, or if it is the church, you can also join like a prayer group. You know, prayer groups are formed. They get together, a Bible study group, that type of thing. They have like, you know, those type of groups online. They have them in person, whatever the case may be. But I love faith-based spaces as well, because those people are amazing. Those people are willing to help out their fellow brother and their fellow sister if they have something going on, whether it's a business, whether they're operating in their passion, whatever the case may be. They'll be more than happy to support. They would be more than happy to help. So those are my 5 places, 5 spaces that I recommend in regards to going out to network. Once again, just to count it down real quick, networking events, that's number 1. Going to these conferences, which is a bigger version of a networking event. Social groups, which is more intimate. Sports leagues, going to the gym, get your competitiveness on, get your interaction on, your activity on, all that good stuff. And number 5, the faith-based spaces, where your fellow brothers and your fellow sisters are more than happy to support you. So let me know what you think about this subject. Let me know what you think about this topic. 5 places to go, 5 spaces to go when it comes to networking. Out of those 5 that I just shared with you, what's your favorite place to go in regards to networking? Or if it was a place that I didn't mention or a space that I didn't mention, share that with me as well. I would love to receive your feedback, and you can do so by simply leaving a comment below. I am Reggie the Growth Advocate, and I appreciate you all tuning into this video as I shared with you yet another tip on how to get further and further away from your comfort zone. So be on the lookout for the next tip in the next video. And until next time, keep growing and keep going.